Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. It sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments to prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
Cousins on first down.
And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground. Incomplete.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the third quarter. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They run again on first down. Cook. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They run it again with Cook. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Cook is in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
The Vikings leave the offense on the field as they're going to line up and go for 2.
Cook, they'll try and run it.
And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead.
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result. And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Meanwhile, Brady's throw complete to Otten.
And he'll be out right at the 35. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Here's Brady. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he's on to kick it away. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And they'll be set up with great field position as this is going to be touchdown right at the 40-yard line.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
On second down, it's Cook again.
Good footwork at the 30. And he's got some space here. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. Nice move at the 5, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Cousins now steps away, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Kirk Cousins taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Vikings continue to run up the score. They lead it big here in the 4th. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it,
the ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
You can almost see inside his face mask there the look of relief. He coughed it up, but it goes out of bounds. They keep it.
Someone carrying around the lucky horseshoe, aren't they? If I were him, I'd go out and play the lottery after that one. A very fortunate man.
And they're operating in plus territory here. They're thinking points. Definitely don't want to lose the football at this juncture.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now Brady. This is White on the screen.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on third down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now Brady got to have this one. And my goodness, another interception.
And the Vikings are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on fourth down.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 23.
He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook.
Room here to run. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
165 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Play fake. Cousins.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. Charles, they're still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right. Pad the stats when you get an opportunity. It'll certainly help you come contract time.
And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been a bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes a defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson.
And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That 2nd down play nets a -4. And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. No, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down. Running for it, here's Cook. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown.
Dalvin Cook
punching it in from a yard away.
And the Vikings' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. This defense held out as long as they could, but ultimately the running game wears them down from the 1-yard line.
And that gets set up throughout the entire drive, doesn't it? And when you put those big bodies and determination into that carry, the end result, touchdown.
Now Cousins going to bring his guys up for the 2-point try.
Cook, they'll try and run it.
And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
And the Buccaneers able to recover. Their hands team does its job. The risk-reward of the onside kick, when you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And this will be down by a member of the kicking team just outside of the 30-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
First down throw for Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Up huge on the scoreboard, and they're still trying to add to their total. That shot doesn't connect, but I don't think it'll dissuade them from attempting another one.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes, and boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10.
Oh, he catches it off the tip. It wasn't even intended for him.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
And I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win. But one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
Now Cousins going to bring his guys up for the two-point try.
Cook, they'll try and run it.
And he will not make it to the goal line as his try for two is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. And the Buccaneers able to recover. Their hands team does its job. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
First down, here's White. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
To throw is Brady. And his throw is incomplete.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair.
So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. If they want it first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down. Now Brady. And now here is another interception. Picked up by the linebacker Jordan Hicks.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. Throwing here, Cousins rolling to his left.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
A big pickup of 38.
No let up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the third quarter doing the old hold up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the fourth quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't kidding.
Cousins to throw it. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Well, Charles, just impressive in all 3 phases. Offense, defense, special teams have really done their job. And here the offense doing its part yet again with another score in the fourth quarter.
I know it seems like something we shouldn't do because the scoreboard does tell it all. But let's set it aside for a moment. This game was absolutely memorable with how they played it. Really terrific effort, really well executed. Congratulations to them.
And they're just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game. The 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for 2, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for 2 early? That's what people are wondering about.
Brady now on first down. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well. And if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
To throw, it's Brady. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Za'Darius Smith in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
He's got a man, complete. Well, no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Well, that's something you haven't had to talk about much this game. A nice big play right there. But this team, overall, they haven't done a whole lot offensively.
Well, they're still sitting on the goose egg. We talk about deep, and it's intercepted at the goal line.
And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 2-yard line.
Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, and then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Minneapolis, good night, everybody.